All right, this is the final lesson for your revisions and editing mini course. I'm so excited. Congratulations for making it this far. I hope that all these gems are able to shift and change your writing for the better. I hope that you're able to take 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or all of these and be able to implement them into your writing. Hopefully they're as useful to you as they have been to me all these years. So this is the final one. Doubtful versus decisive language. Now, here's the thing. As a poet, especially as a poet who is intentionally trying to share their work, as someone who wants their artwork out there, because I know some of us, we write for ourselves, we keep it together, that's fine. I have poems that I keep to myself and poems that I share with others. As someone who wants to share your poetry and get your poetry out there, you're gonna get fans. You're gonna get people who support you, who enjoy reading or hearing your work. You're gonna get people who look up to your writing because they're like, wow, that's fascinating, that's amazing. They just enjoy your work, right? I have a few poets that I love quoting. I love quoting Carmen Lasant, Anthony McPherson, Roya Marsh, Gabriel Ramirez. At any point, you'll find me quoting a line from their poem. But it's because they have decisive language. Decisive language. We want to get rid of doubtful language. What is doubtful language? Doubtful language is when you're saying words like I try, sometimes, maybe, in your writing. It sounds like you're just doubting what you're saying. There's something in the sky. Maybe it was my father waving at me. Why say maybe? Say what you think it was and just go for it. There was something in the sky. There I go, using the word thing, right? There was a figure in the sky. My father was waving at me. I got rid of the maybe, even if it is a maybe. If it's a maybe, then I'm gonna add the other maybe. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Put them both in the poem, right? Get rid of doubtful language. Look through your writing, and anywhere it sounds like you're doubting yourself, oh, I think it was this. I think this happened. Maybe this, I try, I pretend sometimes, or it sounds like you're just like, and here's the thing. Oh, excuse me. Here's the thing. As a writer who's gonna get your work out there, who's gonna develop fans, who's gonna get people who love your writing, those people will start quoting your writing. And they want to sound certain in the statements that they say that you've written. How can they sound certain if your writing doesn't, right? One of the lines Carmen Lasant says from his poem Tell Them, you can find it on YouTube, he says, I do not speak unless it improves upon silence. Do not move unless it improves upon stillness. Imagine if Carmen was like, well, I try not to speak unless it's going to improve upon silence. I pretend like I don't move. I think I shouldn't move unless it improves upon stillness. No, that's doubtful. As a writer, as an artist, as an entertainer, as a poet of our time, your writing can become scripture, nearly biblical to the people who are reading your work. How many times I get on stage, how many times I read my work, how many times people read my work or hear my poetry on online, and they tell me, that touched me. Thank you so much. But if I'm doubtful, if I'm like tippy-toeing, if I'm like, maybe I'm saying this, maybe I believe this, I think this happened, right? It has a less effect for people to be able to believe your work, right? We don't want to not believe our work. If we don't believe ourselves, no one's gonna believe us, right? Write decisively, believe your writing, right? And sometimes that's not gonna happen instantly. Sometimes you're writing your work and you're like, well, I don't know the answer. I am doubtful. Then you're a poet. It's time to sit down with that sentence, with that statement, with that writing, and ask yourself, become decisive about it. Truly develop what your idea is around that sentence, around that thought, and get the answer you're looking for from yourself. Even sometimes you might have to do research or something, But the point is, look through your sentence, avoid those phrases, maybe, I think, sometimes, I pretend, I try, right? Anything that sounds like you're doubting yourself, and turn it into a decisive statement. There are poets out here who have their fans and have people who support them getting their lines of their poems tatted tattooed on their writing because their writing sounds so certain. And I can't imagine getting myself tatted with someone's line who sounds like they're doubting themselves. Don't doubt yourself in your writing. Be decisive, all right?